So many of you have started joining, so we'll not waste our time. Yes, good evening, Ramesh. So exams are drawing nearer. We will go on quick study mode. We will not make these classes lengthy because you need to have some time for self study. I will be directly uploading RBI circulars and sport, which are very much necessary, because if I will waste my time preparing PDFs, it will may not help you. But at the same time, I will recommend all that. And for credit managers, I will be providing you that on Wednesday, and the entire credit management handbook I will provide you on Wednesday. Okay, so there you will find everything from mortgage, type of mortgage, charge creation, everything. So till then you prepare professional knowledge. Okay, and those who are having issues in app login, or give me some time. I will clear it by today night or tomorrow morning, one by one. I saw many, because I don't find these names in similar name. There are so many people who have who have logged in for free access. So I have to find out people's name and change the batch accordingly. So if I will make live all these batches, what will happen? All of them will start enrolling. So I have made it private. These batches are private. All were allowed to get access, free access, and then I upgrade it. So don't worry about it. I will be for this SBI people. I have uploaded these SBI CBO people uploaded these two circulars that were important for your AML KYC and vigilance. Okay, I am also looking into materials. Those who are which are necessary, I will be forwarding it to you. So nothing to worry. We will be covering the entire course, and in professional knowledge we have almost covered so many things. I will just want you to go into the PDFs and check into the details. Unable to join means in which you are not able to join. You are in the class, in app. If you have any issue, we'll be discussing it. Okay, we'll be discussing it. Don't worry. So we'll have a quick recap on RBI circulars. So this is the last month up to which you will get your questions, but we will be only sticking into the important points. Let's go ahead. Okay, so loan interest waiver. The Government of India has announced the scheme for grant of ex gratia payment of difference between compound interest and simple interest for 6 months to borrowers in a specified loan account from 13th of February to 13th of August. Okay, the scheme on October 23rd, 2020, dates are not to be remembered, which mandates ex gratia payment to certain categories of borrowers by way of crediting the difference between simple interest and compound interest for the period between March 1st, 2020 to August 31st, 2020. I think many of you be knowing that there was a discussion of not charging interest on interest in the loans, because many of you have availed the moratorium during the period. Many borrowers have availed moratorium during the period. Some of them were continuing their payment during this period, but those who have availed the moratorium, they were charged interest on interest. Okay, so that amount, it needs to be credited back to the customer's account, and it will be known as ex gratia payment. Okay, who are eligible: sanction limit and outstanding amount not exceeding 2 crore. Loan amount must not be NPA as on 29 February 2020. Okay, so this is it. Segments: those who are allowed: MSME, education, housing, consumer durable, credit card dues, auto loan, PL, professional loans, consumption loan, etc. All bank and financial institutions are mandated to do so. Nodal bank SBI will coordinate with all banks and FI. Okay, this is a catching point. What is State Bank of India will coordinate as nodal bank with all banks and financial institutions. Timeline: data submission should be done by 5th of 11, 2020, and claim for reimbursement by 15th of 12 2020. Today I got some ex gratia payment on my own bank loans. So if you have not received it, you will get it. Okay. So revised regulatory framework of housing finance companies. Principal business of housing finance. Housing finance company shall mean a company incorporated under the Companies Act 2013. Am I not audible to you? Am I not audible to you? Is there any issue in my audibility? Is there any issue? Okay. Okay. You check your network setting. I'm okay. I'm okay. Yes. I will not waste my time. I have thought of taking this class for 15 minutes, not more than that. These are crucial times. You carry on your study. I will be providing you these circulars. You go on, have some self study, and by the time, just prepare a little bit about, yes, just prepare a little bit about math, reasoning, etc. That will be, and please stick to data interpretation. Stick only to data interpretation. Okay, I have received the confirmation, so please stick to data interpretation, and some easy level data interpretation will be given you in form of one liners. Okay, so please stick into data interpretation only. Don't go and read quant for SBI CBO. I'm telling it. Okay. So, who are the housing finance companies? Those are NBFCs whose financial assets in the business of providing finance for housing construction constitute at least 60%. Okay, out of total asset, not less than 50% should be the way of housing financing of individuals. This is the basic of HFC. So, the criteria will be applicable for the date of the circular. So, these are the criteria. Don't go into that detail. This is about HFC, and you are appearing for bank exams, so there is a big difference into it. And streamlining QR code, not necessary for you, but I have put it in PDF. In a later date you can check it, but I don't find it useful. Okay, we will be sticking into only useful facts. You can check it. There need to be a streamline of QR codes. The two interpretable QR codes in existence, UPI QR and Bharat QR, shall continue at present. That means all the QR codes will be uniform. I think you may be knowing that you cannot scan PhonePe QR code with Paytm app. So that will be done away with. Okay. So that is not that much important, but you will find it from the PDF. Will not waste that much time. Inclusion and exclusion from second schedule, not important. Okay, this happens every month because nowadays more and more rural banks are getting consolidated, so names are being changed, not to be remembered. Okay, RBI tweaks risk weight norm to help high value housing loan. So in term of I think I will be knowing about risk weighted assets. So here RBI plays some the total number of RRBs at present I don't know. There were 40 36 40, it has been reduced to 36. You need to check it out. Okay, I cannot tell at present, and this is not an interview question. Okay, this is not a question MCQ. Okay, because they are variables. I have always told you variables are not MCQ questions. Okay, they have been reduced from 58 to 36, I guess. So some of them have not yet been materialized, so it will be around 36 to 37. You can find it out in IBPS RRB circular exam notification. Not such questions are recommended to be remembered. I only stick to, see, in bank exams you will only qualify if you are focused. So we will be focusing. Why I am taking, I could take this class for 2 hours. We generally take such classes for 2 hours. We discuss some other things simultaneously. Why I am sticking to only points and skipping it? Because you are facing exam in 15 days. That's why I need I need you to prepare only basics. Okay, only required elements, not everything. For everything I have other ways. Don't worry about it. So I'm telling you there is some changes in the risk-weighted asset norms for development of high finance housing loans, so that banks will be encouraged to provide high value housing loans. Recognizing the in terms of regulation of capital charge of for credit risk of individual housing loans by banks, differential risk weight are applicable based on the size of the loan as well as the LTV. Recognizing the critical nature of real estate sector in economic recovery, given its role in employment generation and interlinkages with other industries, the RBI has decided to counter-cyclical measures to rationalize the risk weights by linking them only with LTV ratios for all new housing loans sanctioned up to March 31st, 2022. Such loans shall attract a risk weight of 35% where LTV is less than or equal to 80%, and a risk weight of 50% where LTV is more than 80% but less than or equal to 90%. This measure is expected to give a fillip to bank lending to the real estate sector. Why they have done so? They have done so because banks will be more flexible in providing loans to real estate sectors, and you will remember these numbers. Just have a watch on these numbers. See, the very recent updates are not that useful because question maker will take questions which have been at least a month old. So that's why I have taken October. We will not discuss November for the exam point of view, but even in October there are few updates. Those who have changed the things that have been changed in October, that may not be a question, because it is always treated that if you are referring a book, that book would not have been amended. Okay, so and examiners don't want people to see updates from mobile. Okay, so the thing is that you have to be clear up to September, and few things of October you have to remember. Okay, and people elsewhere are preparing for general awareness. People are messaging me, sir, what to read in general awareness. We got some capsules. We are referring ADA capsule on general awareness. Let them read from general awareness. In bank lateral entry exams, nobody asks general awareness. Okay, so even if they will ask you max 5 questions. Don't worry about it. So what is the LTV ratio? This is the chart you need to remember. You will get the PDF, you will get to know. If LTV is less than 80%, the risk weight is 35%. If it is between 80 to 90, its risk weight will be 50%. Getting it? This much is important here, nothing else. Timeline for submission of returns till December 31st is extended for cooperative banks, UCBs, urban cooperative banks. This is what you need to know, nothing else. If your exam would not have been knocking on the doors, I would have told you every single bit of it. Okay. So SLR holdings in HTM category. Can someone tell what is HTM category? What is HTM category? HTM means held to maturity. That means up to maturity you need to hold the security with you. Okay, in order to provide certainty to banks, RBI has extended the time period for statutory liquid ratio holdings in held to maturity category by 1 year till March 2022. I think it is written there, but you may not have seen it. Okay, earlier in September, the central bank had increased the limits of SLR holdings under HTM category to 22% from previous 19.5% of NDTL till March 2021. This dispensation is available to the banks for securities acquired between September 1st to March 31st. Okay. The investment portfolio of banks is classified under held to maturity, available for sale, and held for trading category. The holding of securities under HTM provide cushion for banks from valuation charges. Okay. So there are when you banks keep their SLR with them, CRR is kept in RBI, whereas SLR is kept with the bank itself. Okay, and in SLR there are three categories of securities can be taken. One is HTM, held till maturity. Okay, and it is equal in every portfolio. In every portfolio, even if in your one portfolio, you will have a FD with you that you will only encash on maturity. That is held to maturity. Okay, you have taken some money for trading. That means you will enter into share market, you will get some money, and you will earn some money, and you will come back. That is held for trading and available for sale. That is AFS. That means you have some securities that is ready with you that you anytime you can sell it. Okay, so these are the three categories you need to remember. Getting it? Getting it? For your exam point of view, I am just uh, telling you the related terms, but I will not discuss so many things at a stretch, so that our focus will be diverted. It has also been decided that enhanced HTM limit shall be restored to 19.5% in a phased manner. So it will be reduced again to 19.5% in a phased manner. Okay, so this timeline you don't need to remember, because so many variables are never a question. But those who are constant things or sudden change or there is importance, you need to remember that. Getting it? When I am giving you the PDFs like AML KYC PDF I have uploaded in app, etc., vigilance, etc., just look MCQ point of view. It is, see what they have written. They have written AML KYC, general study in exam pattern, general awareness, AML KYC, vigilance, economy, banking awareness, okay, and legal. Out of which they are going to ask you questions only from legal, only from banking awareness, current banking awareness, static banking awareness, legal and regulatory aspects of banking, okay, and principal practice of banking like JIAB pattern. They will ask not questions not in JIAB style, but questions in normal banking exam style. But from this, though they have mentioned a category from AML KYC particularly, but that doesn't mean there will be, if they will be asking you 30 questions, they will be asking you and they have given you 6 topics. That means every topic will have 5 questions. That is not like that. The questions will not be distributed like that. Getting it? Questions will not be distributed like that. Questions, AML KYC, you can get maximum 1 or 2 questions, 2-3 questions. Okay, so like in AML KYC you can get this OBD, official valid documents, due diligence, that you need to check, note down or you remember it. You have to look into the OBD documents. Okay, they may ask you, can a passport be treated as a OBD document or a due diligence document? Okay, this Kisan Vikas Patra, sorry, not Kisan Vikas Patra, Ration card, can we take it as a OBD, as a address proof? These are the recent changes in AML KYC. There is a normal AML KYC norm. You just go into the details of the circular and also check these norms of how this money is placed in anti-money laundering. That you also need to check. And in vigilance, just preventive measures, how to report frauds like CTR, STR, suspicious transaction report, cash transaction report, etc. What is the cut-off date? By 15th of every month, you need to submit the CTR, and the suspicious transaction need to be submitted to Reserve Bank of India, to FIUIND, that is Financial Intelligence Unit IND India. Okay, within 7 days after arriving into a conclusion that this transaction is a suspicious in nature. So these are the things you need to remember, you need to look into it. Okay, and definitely these FIU, these STR, CTR are only banking awareness question. Okay, okay, so don't be confused, stick to the basics, stick to the core banking rules, and I have always told that they are, I have always emphasized on banking laws and banking regulations, and this is where question